Well, hello my little beauties and welcome to this live stream. It's just coming up for 8 AM here in the UK. Welcome. You are joining me. It's David Connolly here, the web developer extraordinaire, joined by the great Kurdy Codes. How you doing? Nice to see you. So, we have a few bugs to fix, it would appear. And that's okay. Hang on, I need to cough, but I have a trick. Alright. So, yesterday I did a lot of refactoring of some code, you know. Of course. And I'll show you what happened. If you have a look at the members module, we had this big giant old module here with over 1,800 lines of code. It's an absolute monster. And there's a lot of stuff in it that doesn't get used. So for example, this does not get used, whatever it does. And it's just too big. So I made the decision that I'm going to rewrite this. So I rewrote it yesterday. And I reduced it from 1,800 lines of code to 794 lines of code. The challenge is that in doing so, it would appear that I've taken out a few things that we do need. And so what we're going to do to kick this off is reintroduce those things. So for example, if we go to the module market here and click on something like this, you'll see we're getting a lot of loading. Actually, this is bizarre. Why is it working? That's weird. That's astonishingly weird. Well, I guess that's a good start to the day. It fixed itself. Okay. Interesting. Well, anyway, I think there are a few glitches here, you know. So let's see what they've said over at the help bar. Okay. Oh, that is old. Right, no it's not. Right, okay, so he says when he creates an app everything's okay, but when he gets a module he gets an error message, right? So that is most definitely the kind of thing that we're talking about here. So what I think I'll do is I'll open up the desktop app. And let's just check that out. So we'll create a new app, AAA, and then I don't even know what to say next. AAA 123. Ah, now that's happening because we've not started up XAMPP. Have to start up XAMPP and all of that stuff. Alright. So let's try this again. So create a new app, ABC123. Let's choose a location. So this is going to go inside htdocs, and we'll generate it. Right, so we can view the new app like so. And now I'm going to create a new module. I'm going to call it A1. Now let's try this stuff. Okay. Well, unexpected end of well, I'm not able to recreate that at all. Okay, so that one we can certainly get sorted out. Okay. Now I'm going to just search for level, and you can see that we've got a thing here called get Trongate user level. Now this one is called, yeah, so that's slightly different, that's fine. So we'll save that. Okay, good. So there's one thing fixed. All right. Okay, good. So let me check the old levels. I think we're all right. And I'm going to do a wee trip to deploy HQ. All right. So That's that now sorted. Alright, it's a real drag when you... It's a real drag when you have issues like this, you know, and you can't figure out what exactly they are. Alright. So you can see that that just says loading, which is very, very far from cool. And here, if we look at this, what the hell? Okay. Cool. Hey folks, even. I hope everybody's well today. I can see that we're joined by the great Mamalinio. Welcome to you, welcome. So basically, I'm just going through and fixing a few wee bits and pieces and making sure that this thing is working, you know? And to be entirely honest, I'm not even sure if it is, but let me just try a couple of things. Yeah, I think I've got it working. I'm not entirely sure. So basically what had happened is, as I said earlier on, the members module for this site was far too big. If I take you to it right now, you'll see that I had over 1800 lines of code. So I've rewritten it and we've now got it to 864. It's still a pretty big file. But I'm concerned that I may have left stuff out. Now, how do you deal with that is the question. Now, looking at the logic. Looking at the logic. There's a few things we could do. I could compare lists of all functions and variables. I could I think that's the best thing. Right, okay, let's get a list of all missing functions. Let's just do that, right, as a starting point. Now this could take a wee while, but I'll do the best I can. Right, so I'll go through the ones that we don't have and I'll ask the question, well, why have we got those? So I don't think we need that. Get my settings. Do we need that? But we might need it. Ah, here's an idea. Here's how we do this. I know how to do it. Alright. So what we'll do is we'll go to members. Alright. I'm going to make up a thing called test and I'm going to echo OK. So if we go like that, it says OK. Now then I'm going to take everything in this massive big file, every single thing, holy moly, that's a lot of code. Okay, now I'm going to copy all of that, then I'm going to paste it in. That is of course going to give us an error message because it will say you cannot redeclare. So now we go through each and every one of these. Until the thing runs. Alright, well there we go. Took a wee bit of time, but we managed to get there in the end. So, what this means is, all of this stuff has been pasted in from members old. We probably don't need all this. We probably don't. But I haven't really got time to faff about, you know. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly clean it up. And then later on, when I have more time, I'll go through each and every one of those and find out which ones I actually really do need, you know. But I can leave that for another day. So this is just a super quick and ready tidy up here. Alright. And again, I don't think that we need all of that stuff, not by a long shot. But hopefully, that's got us sorted. Now, we trip to deploy HQ here. Now, originally the file was 1800 lines of code. And now, after all that work, it's 1900 and it looks like that's a bit of a disaster story. But keep in mind, we've got a couple of hundred lines of empty space here. And there's a lot of stuff here that we'll be able to get rid of later on. Anyway, that'll do me as far as that stuff goes. Alright, So I don't really know what to do with myself. I think... yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so there's actually a whole bunch of other stuff that I'd like to do with this, but I'll keep it simple and just do the sort of urgent stuff. And one of the urgent things that I want to do is the design templates here. This should yeah, design templates could do a wee bit of work here. And the question is, well, how do we want it to look? And I think the answer is probably similar to how this works. So the idea is, if I just bring up another window here, so when we click into design templates, we've got these popular design templates and then latest design templates. But I wonder, I kind of feel as if this is a mistake. Actually, I think that we should just have it I think it should just be like this, you know? And I think that's what I'm going to do. So okay. So let's see if we can figure out how this thing works. So we've got a thing called load non-module category, and it takes in a value I can see. So I'm going to say let's do a search for n space load non-module category. Alright. And let me do that again. Okay. Right. I like this one. So that's load category, and it just says category 7. I'm going to have to look at the database structure here because, well, hang on, that says category 7. What would happen if I just says load category, design, templates, right? And then what if I just went here? Right, so load category URL string. Now, suppose we said load category URL string return. Return is like the JavaScript version of a die statement. Now, let's assume that we refresh this page. And we hit design templates. So what we end up with is okay, so we've got an error with load category. So let's have a look at load category. And I'm going to just console.log. Hello. Why not? Okay. Now let's just console.log. URL string. I got you. So that says type 2. So suppose we say if URL string is equivalent to type 2, then URL string equals design templates. So now I'm gonna console.log URL string. Right, mod market categories. All right. Oh, it would appear that we don't have it. Okay, so with that being the case, let's just head back. Okay. So, we've got 2 set timeouts here. Now let me just try something. Okay, so load non-module category is okay, so these two things are running. Now, suppose we go like this, return, and then refresh. Then we hit design templates. Okay. Now, let's keep this in, but let's have a look at draw non-module categories, or more accurately, init draw non-module categories. Ah, now look at this. Console.log here goes with URL string. Okay. Okay, now at 948 we get an error. So what's happening here is we're doing a request to a URL. I'm going to say console.log sending get request to, and I'm going to console.log target URL. Okay, now this is something that's really worth looking at. So I'm going to copy that, head in here, and go like that. Okay, cool. Well, ain't that something? It says call to undefined method module market fetch categories info. Now I bet you I've got this somewhere. I have not got it somewhere. Let's go again. Okay, so we've done categories to items, fetch all categories info type 2. Pardon me. Now where does this get called? Does it get called anywhere else? Okay. So let's let's go like this. Running, fetch, all categories info with and we'll just console.log. Oh, hang on, that's PHP. Well, let's never mind that. Okay, back over here then. Aye, so we do run that init load categories thing. So okay. Going to go to network, refresh, and if we click on, for example, category 7, categories to items, fetch all categories info. So aye, that's basically just giving us the items on each category. Okay, cool. But if we go here, okay. Alright. So what's happening is we're getting this item type string, and if I go like this, item type ID is emptiness, you'll see that this suddenly comes to life and it starts working. So So if we have a closer look at that, what that's basically doing is showing us how many things each category has. And it's actually kind of useless. So, here's what we're gonna do. Let's take that out. Take that out. Alright. Now, okay. So, we've got this init non-module categories thing going on here, or init draw non-module categories. Init draw non-module categories. Now, what this is basically doing is it's starting off by saying, let's draw this grid thing. This thing here that says categories. And we actually don't really need that. Yeah, we actually don't need that at all. Init draw non-modules categories. So I'm going to do the unthinkable. So these are all working, and if we click on this one, it says running blah 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 blah, and there you go. All right. Okay, so what I really want to do with this then is basically recreate, well, let's have a look here. Aye. Okay, cool. So let's go to, see this here? I'm going to take that out. So at the moment, this is saying popular design templates, latest design templates. I'm going to refresh this. Now when I click on it, we get nothing at all, which is good. Alright, so what I want to do is figure out how does this work. When we hit load category and we say something like category 8, how does that actually work? Well, looks like we get a big old function here. Now I'm going to copy that. Where it says init draw non-module categories, I'm going to paste all of that stuff in. And it won't work, of course. But it gives us a great start out of the blocks. So what we're doing here is we're sending a post request to this target URL, and we are sending these parameters. So if we now, this is going to be quite revealing, this. Oh, you miserable basket case. Right, there you go. So I'm gonna copy that link address. I'm gonna paste in. Now I'm gonna copy that stuff. Paste that in. Then I'm gonna hit send. All right. So right, we've got a thing called prep request items. And I'm going to just say hi. Good. Good. Now let me say JSON input true. Fuck, hold on. All right. So I'm going to just echo hello with a die statement. Nothing. Okay. Okay. So this is going with process request category items. Okay, so we've got this execute category search going on here. Now I'm going to echo category URL string. It just says type 2. Let's echo the limit. $15 and the current page num. Alright. So let's go to execute category search. This is on a search module. Okay, so execute category search. Okay. Okay, so unfortunately the design or the template section has not got much in common with how the other sections work. So I'm gonna have to say response is this. I'll just say init design template search, and alright, so we'll go down here and we'll say something like that. Make this a bit bigger. Okay, so So what I'm trying to do here is if I go back to this module market and hit on, let's say, category 7. So if I just say something like category 7 and hit send, you'll see we get a whole bunch of stuff here. And if I say something like category 2, you can see how that all works, you know. Now I'm going to copy. Well, actually, right, you can see how this goes. So we've got a headline, we've got a bunch of rows, and then we've got some pagination code. That's basically what we've got for this, right? So what we can do then is we can say response headline equals, and I'm going to just say design templates. Now let me just return response, and if I go like this, okay, now hold on a minute. So this is our response here, and we have to return this response. There you go. Right, that's excellent. So the next thing that we have to do is get the rows, but we have to take into account the limits and offsets and stuff like that to get the rows, you know. So let's go to init design template search. We know that the headline is going to be design templates, but let's have a wee look at process search here. Right, I'm seeing fetch items for category. And you can see we've got order by, offset and limit. Fetch items for category. Let me have a look at this. Okay, so this is looking at a thing called posted object, and that is on process search. Okay, good. So let's copy this. Let's go like this. And let's just say JSON data true, and we'll see what that looks like. So we've got a limit, we've got an offset, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and that's pretty darn cool. I like it, you know. So on process search, which I'm gonna bring up, we've got this category search, and it says category search can be true or false. Now let me look at fetch items for search. Fetch items for search. Okay, so that's looking for search phrases. So I'm going to go back to process search, and that is what it's doing right there. Let's just copy all of this. Right, good. Now I'm going to hit the back thing, which takes me right back to where we were a minute ago. And I'm going to say something like that, and something like that. Paste in. Okay, now we don't need this else statement, nor do we need this here. Good. Now I'm just going to do a cleanup. I'm not even thinking about the code, by the way. Nice and easy. Okay. Right. Now you can see that we've got this fetch items for category thing here, which is probably not going to work. We also don't need this. Now, okay, so what's going on here is we're doing a double search. The first one has got a limit and offset. It shows us the result for this particular page. The second one is we fetch all of this stuff, which helps us to build pagination. Strictly speaking, we could do that with one search and then filter the results, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. Instead, let's have a wee look at fetch items for category. So okay, so it's basically fetching the items where we've got approved and live and all of that shit. Now I think it's probably worth... The best way to deal with this is, instead of trying to figure out that horrible SQL code, let's just have a wee look at this. And you can see here, if we just copy this actually, this gives you a really good indication of what we're looking for. So there's our rows right there. So that's basically what we need for this thing to work, you know. So let's open up . Alright, we'll modify existing app. I'll open up this, and then let's just go to the query builder. Okay, so we know that we're going to be getting from module market items, and we know that we've got this items types table here. And if you look at the one with an ID2, that is design templates. So what else have we got? Well, we've got the publisher name. Alright. So we've got basically the publisher name and the item types type title. So this should be quite easy, believe it or not. So here's what we do. We're going to bring in publishers, and we're going to bring in, I don't even really need item types, but I'll do it anyway. Join like that. Then join like that. So we're going to get the type title, then everything here, and then the publisher name. Let's copy that. And now okay. SQL equals, let's paste that in. Alright. Now, for the moment, I'm going to just say rows is that. And I'm going to just say response. And if you look at this, we are just looking for some rows here. Now, even though this thing is not perfect, we'll do that. And then let's just return response. So now, if we say type -2, then have a look at this JSON thing, and you can see that that looks remarkably similar to what we're after here, so that's really, really great. So we're going to add some parameters in here. So I'm going to say item type ID equals 2. Going to see where item types dot ID equals item types ID. Now then I'll say order by and then limit offset comma limit. Alright, now for I'm going to turn some things into integers while I can. So let's just say set type data limit is an integer. I probably don't need to do that, but there's no harm in being a wee bit paranoid, you know? Now let me have a look at get order by. Right, that's good. So that is secure. Alright. So we're going to say SQL is string replace. Now I'm going to replace order by with data order by. I'm going to do that to the SQL. Then offset. Then limit. Now let me just echo the SQL before I even run it. Alright, good. Okay, good. So there's our SQL. Looks okay to me. And you can see that we've got our parameters there. And because I've got parameters, I'm going to do query binding. So you pass in the SQL, you pass in the params, and don't you love an object? Now when we save and refresh this, module market items, item type ID. Where? Module market items dot item type ID. Good. Alright, so that's good. Right. Now, that gives us the init design template search. Right, one moment. Let's look at this process search again. So so what you can see here, we've got fetch items for category, limiting the results, then fetch item for category, not limiting the results. That's how it works. So if we go back here, we're going to say function fetch items for templates. Alright, fetch items for templates, and okay, so I'm going to say response rows is this, fetch items for templates. I'm going to pass in the data, and then I'm going to pass in true. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go like this. Right. So, fetch items for templates. Fetch items for templates. Okay, so if I go like that, then I'm going to say if limit results is true, then SQL also equals okay, and then we do all of that stuff, then we do that, then we return the rows. Okay, so good. Okay, good. So all things are going to be fetch items for templates, but then we're going to say false. And we'll call this all templates. Now I have no clue what this add type title thing is. 190. I don't think we need it. So let's just comment this out. But then okay. I think that's it. I do believe that's it. I think that's it. Now I can see that that's saying undefined, so no, it works. That's it. I think that's excellent. So Fingers crossed. Alright, let's just clear this cache thing. Alright, Mario's here, Android. I may not be able to listen as Bluetooth broke down. Well, no worries, thanks for the message. We have Mario in here, Mamelinho, Kurdi Codes, they're all here. And thanks for the likes, man, I appreciate it. Alright, so, what do you reckon? What do you reckon? Alright, let's head into this module market and hopefully the design templates will be good now. There you go. There you go. Alright, I reckon that's it. Alright, what do we think? Does that look okay? I think that is it. Alright, the great Perkin has arrived. Nice to see you, man. Welcome, welcome. It's an early start the day, but I think that we've got this, you know. I really think we've got this figured out now. So I am generally pretty happy with how this is all going. Right, well, I think that's it. So, that could be the end of the live stream. Thank you, man. It's looking pretty good, isn't it? Thanks a lot. So I think that is it. I'm going to go and record a video for this now. I'm kind of tempted to leave the live stream on, but then again, what's the point, you know? I don't know. No, I'll head over to the other side of the room. I think that'll be us. So thank you so much. I'm going to go off and record a wee video for YouTube. I'll talk to you soon. Take it easy. Oh, and hello Ed. I just noticed you there. How you doing?